Hello, I am Eva Budai. Among the sugar, I will focus on glucose. Let's see how the liver helps us to regulate blood sugar level. We would like to have a certain blood sugar level, not too low, not too high. And also, the body tries to have the same concentration of glucose within the liver cell as it is in the bloodstream. So this is the liver cell. Outside of the liver flows the blood. This is good for the transporter of the glucose, as glucose cannot enter the liver cell alone. And we can see now that the concentration of glucose is about the same in the liver as it is in the blood. In this case, about the same amount of glucose will flow into the liver as it goes out of the liver. But what happens when we eat some food and the blood sugar will rise? So we have some food and after 1-2 hours our blood sugar will rise. So we have more sugar now in the bloodstream than it is in the liver. The concentration of the glucose is higher in the bloodstream than in the liver. So there will be more glucose floating inside the liver than outside. So more glucose will enter the liver cell and less will go out of the liver cell. And what happens when we haven't been eaten for a long time? Our blood sugar will drop. Now it really drops. So there will be less sugar. The blood will be less concentrated with glucose, and the liver cell will be more concentrated with glucose. In this case, the sugar that leaves the liver cell will be more. The more glucose will leave the liver cell and less will enter the liver cell. So in this case, the liver cell will make glucose and it will send out into the bloodstream so that the blood sugar rises a little bit. So all in one, we always try to have the same amount of concentration of glucose on both sides. So if we have more glucose here, then more will go into the liver cell. If there is the concentration of the glucose is higher in the liver cell, then more sugar will leave the liver cell than it goes in. This can work within the liver cell, but the muscle cell works different because once the glucose enters the muscle cell, a phosphate group will attach to the glucose, and this glucose with the phosphate cannot leave the muscle cell. In the liver cell and in the kidney cell, we have an enzyme that will help to cut off this phosphate group so that glucose can leave the liver or the kidney cell. So this is how liver will help to regulate blood sugar level. So on one hand, the pancreas will help us by producing insulin. So if the sugar is too high, the pancreas will produce insulin, and insulin will help glucose to leave the bloodstream and get into the cells. And if we have too low blood sugar level, then liver will produce sugar and will send out glucose into the bloodstream, so the blood sugar rises a little bit this way. Thus, we have two organs that helps us regulate blood glucose, already the liver and the pancreas. Bye.